Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of That Guy Health. So today we have a special product review. The product is supplied by Instar. It is the Power Push, basically the all-around travel, home-free, gym-free bench press system. But you could do more than bench press with this system, which is what we're going to get into. So if you're interested in this product at any time in the video, the product links are below in the description. We'll take you right there. You can see the various variations that they have available for this product and purchase yours and get to work anywhere, anytime, any place. All right. So let's get into the review.
225, 225, 225, 25, 25, 225, 225, 225.
So here we have the Instar, all right? And this is the bulk of the actual equipment. Now to my left over here, you see that I have a bar and a bag, and that will be your carrying case, and that bar will be, in addition, variations for you to perform exercises with this equipment. So you do have handles here, and we've already went over that previously in the other video when we opened up. Today is more about seeing these exercises. We're going to do 6 different exercises, which might have 2 different variations with and without the bar. The first exercise we're going to get into is one that you should always do before you start doing anything else to warm the muscles up and get them ready for the bench press. We're going to perform an old-fashioned push-up, but with a little wrinkle. We're going to do it weighted or with resistance with the Instar. So when you get into the push-up position, you'll find that you may start feeling a little awkward as you start working into this for the first time, but as you get used to it, you'll get more comfortable with getting in and out of position with this equipment. You want to go ahead and wrap it around your back like so. Put your hands down onto the floor or onto your pad or your mat, whatever you have. Get in good push-up form and do your push-ups. Now, resistance is different. If you have more bands attached to the equipment, you're going to have more resistance on your push-up. Remember, the push-up technically may be a warm-up exercise for you unless it's done later on in the movement or in your workout. So with that being the case, I would suggest start out with no resistance bands first, then add the Instar with 1 band and work your way up from there depending on what you're going to be doing in your exercise. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the push-up with or without the Instar on warm-up. Okay, now let's get into the one that you all been waiting for. I'm not gonna have you wait too long into this video. Let's talk about the bench press. Now, bench press can be done 2 different ways, and I'm gonna show you both of those ways in which the bench press can be done with the Instar fitness equipment. So first we're gonna do with handles only, no bar. Now you're gonna have to find out what's comfortable for you to get in and out of here, and as you develop a routine, you'll be more fluent with getting in and out of the equipment within your exercise. I started off this way, wrapping around the back. Now, of course, you see that I have the band coming around my rib cage and up through. I don't have it coming on the outside of my shoulders or my biceps. That there will probably ruin your range of motion in this particular exercise, but later on in other exercises, that actually will suit just fine, and we'll discuss that exercise when we get to it. So as you see right there, the bench press done with the handles, good form, chest up, feet planted on the ground, and that's how you'll get that done. Now let's move into the next variation of this exercise, the bench press with the bar. We already did without the bar, now we're gonna do with the bar. It's easy. You simply go ahead, slide the bar in between the handles, adjust the resistance bands for what resistance you wanna do or you wanna have in this exercise, get your back pinned against the floor, feet flat on the floor, and go ahead and initiate the bench press, getting a good firm workout. And you can add more bands as you go when you start warming up and you want to put more resistance on there, simply like doing just so. Just go ahead and stretch that band out, put it into that notch, and boom, you got more resistance and you can get back to work. So now it's time to get into another chest goodie, the chest fly. The chest fly will be done without the bar, okay? We don't need the bar to do the chest fly, but unlike the bench press, we came directly between the arm and the rib cage area, all right? This time on the chest fly, we're gonna come on the outside of the arms, and that way we can actually get the fly. Now remember what I said, you're gonna have to find your way of getting in and out of the equipment that works for you. I'm doing what works for me and finding my way, as this is new equipment to myself. And at the end of this video, I'll provide you with a small review on whether you should should get it or not get it. But right now I'm going to tell you the not getting it is not part of the equation, but I will give you some more tidbits on it. So with the chest fly, you're going to wrap it around your shoulder blades, upper back area. You're going to go ahead and stretch out so you can go ahead and get that nice and firm, get it nice and in position so it doesn't ruin your range of motion. Go ahead and lay down on your back like so, and go ahead and initiate the chest fly, closing with the hand grips closer together up top, and on the eccentric, you'll drop back down, opening up that chest. Now, of course, you can do this standing. I think it's a bit better doing it laying if you want to make sure that you have a firm anchor and you get that resistance in. As standing up, certain portions of your body will give to resistance, and that might do something to the load on the resistance, all right? And that is how you will get to the chest fly. So now that we've worked the front, let's work the posterior. How about the back? This system also can work the back muscles on top of other muscles. Not only will it work chest, back, arms, triceps, but you can also do legs with this equipment. And I'm going to have another video that's going to show you more advanced movements later on about the things that you could do with this equipment. But let's go ahead and get into the seated row. So seated row, you're going to take the handles like so. We're going to do this with and without the bar. You'll go ahead and have the pad on the bottom mid feet. Okay, don't have it right at your toes. That could put a little bit more pressure. You have to remember working with the back, which is the lats, which is one of the bigger muscles in the body. So go ahead and get that band or that pad mid-foot so you have a good anchor on there. Go ahead and get your chest up and start pulling. All right, now you want to really try to pull from the elbow area, being sure to not initiate the biceps as much as possible. Keep those handles low. And the one thing that I do like about doing this without the bar, with just the handles, is I can have a range of motion or that will let me twist and initiate or contract more on that muscle, all right? So that's the one without the bar. Now let's get into doing the seated row with the bar. With the bar, I like to have a false grip over top. You can also perform an underbar grip. That's the versatility of this equipment, and that's another reason why I had started growing to love it as I started getting more and more into the workouts. So with the seated row with the bar, you'll just slide the bar in between the handles. Once you slide in between the handles, you get your grip in your bar position, get that chest up and start pulling, getting those elbows back and squeezing those posterior back muscles. That is how you will do it with the seated row with and without the bar. So now that we've done seated positions, we can move into some of the standing positions because there are many standing positions you could do. We're going to go ahead and cover two of those positions. So the first position that we're going to cover is called the standing row. We just came from the seated row. Now we're going to do the standing row. So in the standing row, same thing applies with getting the band underneath your foot, mid-foot, to put as much anchorage on that band as possible so you don't have it slip and have an accident there. We're going to do it with and without the bar. We're going to do handles first. Same thing as seated. You grab those handles, you will slightly bend over, get your back into position, get that chest poked out, and you will go ahead and start rolling upward, pulling as you try to squeeze those elbows back behind the frontal line and engage those lat muscles. It is simply easy to not only change the resistance, but go ahead and change the way you're doing the exercise by adding the bar. Now you'll just go ahead, slide that bar in between the handles just as we did on the seated row, get into position for the row, standing, and go ahead and start pulling back, getting those elbows back beyond the frontal plane and initiating those lat muscles. I absolutely felt this by then. Me doing just these few reps in these different sets, I could feel the workout. I even started building up a sweat. So that had me gain more respect for this piece of equipment. So now we're going to do something else. We're going to move into the arms. We're going to do the biceps, all right? These are also glamour muscles, okay? So with the biceps, we're going to do with and without the bar. Now, it's a bit different here when we do the biceps. Unlike the standing or the seated row, we had our feet positioned on the back pad. This time, we're going to utilize the opposite side of the handle, putting our foot through the handle. Now you want to get your foot in there as much as you can, all right? You don't want to just have the tip toe of your shoe in there and then you put the load on and then it slips out of your foot and you could have an injury. Get that handle as far back on that foot, mid-level if possible, and that's how you're going to do it. Grab the other handle and you can initiate a single arm bicep curl. All right, you can switch hands easily by removing the handle off one foot, putting the handle on the other foot, getting the helper handle in the other hand, and initiate your individual arm bicep curl. It doesn't stop there though. Now you can go ahead, take the bar, and do a bar curl. Now this is a straight bar curl, but I would imagine if you had a cheater bar that was fittable enough, you could get it in there, but the company's not advising that, nor do they show examples of that. That would be simply something you would do to just add a variation to your workout. Now, you're just gonna go ahead, slide that bar in between the handles once you get your foot planted. You probably add a little bit more resistance since you do have a bar. You will be doing a bilateral movement using 2 limbs. Add a little bit more resistance on there to your comfort level and initiate the straight bar curl. And I absolutely in love with the straight bar curl because I like to just have my grips firm there instead of having the cheater bar. I just feel better when I do straight bar curls, which is why I use a barbell. So this worked out perfect. And having the ability to up the resistance to levels that just kind of touch on me on my line there is important. So make sure you order the right equipment or the right level of this equipment for yourself, because if you order something that's too low in resistance, you'll outgrow it. And there's nothing wrong with making another order, but you want to get the most out of your equipment and the longest use you can out of the equipment. So with that being said, we've covered 6 exercises that you can do with just this piece of equipment. Now, I'm going to tell you there are more exercises that you can do, and we are going to cover that. I'm going to cover that in other videos, all the way from lower to upper to front to posterior to anterior. We're going to cover all of that here on this channel as time goes on. I hope that some part of this video provided you information that would definitely either pique your interest, answer some questions, or make you confident in the buying process. So like I said, product links are below in the description. I absolutely love this piece of equipment. When I travel, this will be something I will throw in my bag along with maybe another band, but I'm starting to see that I might not need that band. We're gonna try to do delt moves with this later on in another video. To me, this is the go-to travel home gym. You could take this anywhere and get a workout in. I'm telling you, worth the money. You can see the price, the options, and the pictures, so you can do everything and make every type of buying choice that you need to make below in the description. Like I always say, if this is your first time at this channel, everybody else knows, be safe, let's build together, and peace.